Hey guys, what is going on? Pokemon Fetish here with another awesome video today. Today is going to be a bot cards by mail video. We'll be leaving out one thing, which is going to be a first edition Neo Revelation set minus the Shinings. Pretty sure you guys have seen that come through on this channel about 100,000 times by now, am I right? Anyways, without further ado, I have a mint Shadowless set that I actually had purchased. I'm going to try to flip through these quickly. Not all the cards are mint. The holos were definitely near mint to mint, up to gem mint, so I'm not too sad about that at all. Pretty happy about it, actually. Some of these cards are going to be gradable for 10s, and some of them aren't. Unfortunately, whoever opened up these packs seemed like they may have weighed the packs. I don't know, because it seems like they got fillers for the rares. A lot of them aren't really the greatest of condition, unfortunately. Said to be a mint set, but as you can see here, let me move the lights a little closer so y'all can see better. But a lot of the cards aren't really quite as mint as you'd like. Got a little edgeware up there. This is one of the better looking cards, I think. Yeah, this one's definitely. I mean, but they're still all mint, so I'm not really crazy, you know, crazy mad or anything. So whatever. But got a lot of awesome cards here. You may notice that some of the cards seem like they're out of order, and that's because I've pulled some of them for grading purposes, which is a separate stack. But yeah, I'm really pretty happy about a lot of this. Unfortunately, some of the cards were not getting graded simply due to the fact that some of them are just too off-centered for me to want to even risk grading, especially with some of these commons, as I really don't feel like risking grading cards and getting 9s only to have to sell them for $12 shipped, stuff like that. That sucks when that happens. But a lot of these cards are just really good looking. The yellow cheeks, fortunately, is like super mint, so I'm pretty happy about that. Too bad the red cheeks wasn't quite as mint, so that sucks. For some reason, none of the trainers were mint, especially most of the rares. As I said before, most of the rares aren't really so hot. They're more near mint to mint, stuff like that. Have like some weird played wear on them. You see a little bit on the right-hand side. Once again, this looks like one of the better ones that I've decided to pick up off of here. I mean, you guys are probably like, why is this guy even complaining? These cards look pretty good to me. Wonder if this is one of them. Yeah, you can just see it's got like a little wear over here on the side. A little over there as well, down here. And like I said, the cards are really great. I mean, definitely mostly 9s, a few random 8s hiding in the wings here of the cards. But for $1,500, guys, can you really complain? No, I normally don't say prices, but I feel like I picked this set up for an absolute steal. I mean, $1,500 for a mint Shadowless set? Come on. Like, do the math, people. Super potion, oh yeah. Then, of course, the energies. Pretty freaking awesome, if I do say so myself. I've never actually owned a complete Shadowless set. I've only ever had, like, partial sets ever. So, it's pretty new to me, pretty awesome. I mean, I know I've got a step above that, you know, with PSA 10 first edition set, of course, but, I mean, it's still Shadowless, it's still really rare. Some would even argue that it is just as rare as the first edition, if not rarer. So, these are all the cards, I believe, that could grade 10s, so hoping for the best on a lot of these, because there's quite a few of them, so I'm pretty happy about that. Good old Bulbasaur, good old Caterpie and Charmander. Oh man. I think all three of the starters, including the Yellow Cheeks Pikachu, are actually in the pile of potential 10s, so that'd be really cool. I don't know if I really intend on keeping any of these graded cards. I might. I've never really had decided to really chase after Shadowless. Just sometimes when you find a deal, you just can't not scoop it up. Because, I mean, come on. I've been buying and selling cards for the last 5 years, and it's just one of the things that I do. Buy, sell, collect. I just love the crap out of this hobby. So, it's very enjoyable for me, as it is for all you guys, because you're obviously watching this channel. I bought some PSA 10 cards as well. So, as you can see here, about as bad as it gets, that little spot down there on the bottom right-hand side. But I picked this thing up for like a stupid price. I paid $40 for this at auction, so I don't think that anyone's seen it. I mean, I've seen this card hitting anywhere up from $90 to $100, sometimes $75, but I mean $40 for any Pokemon card that is Wizards of the Coast with a first edition stamp that's a holo for $40 is a steal. So I'm pretty happy about that, because it's not a trainer card too. Giovanni's Nidoking, pretty freaking sick. Can't even complain. The next cards, of course, are some Legendary Collection cards that I won from PWCC. Still got to put some sleeves on these bad boys, but still working on that 10 set, of course, very slowly. It decides to pop up at random that I decide that if I could get something for a good deal, why not? It's got this beautiful Omanite. I don't understand why there's not as big of a market for the Legendary Collection reverses. Like, how could you guys not like these? Hop on the train, get on that bandwagon, and pick yourself up some of these cards. I mean, look how insane that these things look. They could give people seizures because they look so good. I mean, come on. It's amazing looking. Plus, I mean, it's base set, Jungle, Fossil, and Team Rocket all slammed into one set. Sure, that sounds like base set 2 all over again, you know. But it's also got Rocket in it. I don't think that base set 2 has Team Rocket in it. Especially since it just came out after the Fossil set, so definitely not. Got the Caterpie. And a Geodude. So pretty happy about this. I actually picked up that Caterpie for less than $40, which was actually a pretty good deal considering the population on it, I think, is only like 3 or 4. So pretty happy to be able to throw that into the collection. Pretty awesome. Anyways, I know you guys have seen this before on the channel, of course, but there's a reason for it. Sure, some of you guys may have seen on Instagram, but I have here a very, very special Charizard. And I'm going to take this out of here so you guys don't get the glare. But the card is just insane looking. As you can see here, the comparison in color. Some people are going to say it's sun faded. Some people are going to say it's fake. I mean, have we ever seen a fake card that actually mimicked the holo pattern that well? Because I haven't. Plus, besides that, it passed the light test, and it's also got the black stripping in between the card. I'm not going to show that, obviously, because it's impossible to get the focus onto something like that. The card is only really worthy of an 8, unfortunately. It's got some nasty print lines going through it, as you can see there. Should definitely get an 8, but the back of it, like, come on, look at the back of that thing. It's pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Like, the back of it's nearly a gem. So it's pretty impressive. But just like doing a side-by-side comparison, as I was saying, some people would say that this card is sun-faded. But I'm on the fence about it a little bit. I've done some research, and I'd like to know what y'all think about it. As you can see here, the yellow borders are completely identical. So, with that being said, obviously the border hasn't been faded, and I read online the last color to get faded from sun bleaching, so they say, so they call it sun bleaching, is actually going to be the blue color. The blue color is supposed to be the last color that gets affected by the sun. So, with that having been said, I don't feel that this card has in fact gotten sun bleached or sun damaged, because you could also argue and look at the wing color here. Look at the comparison in the color. It really does not, it looks pretty identical to me. I mean, some might argue that it might look slightly darker over here on the right, but that also is because the colors over here are so much brighter than on this card. The contrasting, you know, just like the saturation is much stronger on this card than the one here in my left hand that I'm holding. So the greens look really good. As you can see, I understand that black's not a color, it's a shade. But black still gets faded just like on a shirt, you know. None of the black colors appear to be off. Everything appears to be good. Other than like the yellows, you could see this one up here, like just like a little bit faded looking. Like not faded, but you know, the ink ran out, I believe, on this card. So I think that this should technically get a printing defect grade if PSA even notices that the card looks a little bit different than usual coming through. Because as you can see, the reds are definitely more of an orange. The this purple-ish looking color here, where it says Pokemon Power Energy Burn, you can see here that it's more of a blue color. I mean, like aqua blue. But if you look down here at the weakness, the blue is perfect. The resistance, the fighting energy is definitely, so like that brownish red looking color is definitely faded looking as well. I'm just going to keep using the word faded just because. The whites look good. The white and the black on here looks good as well. I mean, and of course, basically anything that is red on here, such as this, like the fire energy, is definitely a bit as well too. You can see there, it's definitely a little bit less vibrant looking. But everything about this card checks out as I believe it not to be sun bleached or faded at all. I think that this card is a natural print defect error, which is pretty awesome. I've already had a couple people offer pretty fair offers to me for it, but I really just want to get it sent to PSA, get it graded, authenticated, and all that good stuff. That way I don't have any haters saying that this card is a fake or that it's sun bleached or anything like that, because I don't believe that any of them are really correct. So probably post this on E4 as well and see what some of our other elite Pokemon masters may think about this card. But enough of my blabbing. I mean, I know it's a pretty awesome card though, so it's Charizard, come on. And it looks damn good. Anyways, let me get this re-sleeved real quick. So I'll likely get these sent out at PSA. It's like the 17th or something of January right now. I don't even know. I don't pay attention to the date. Anyways, moving along. So this one was marked with an orange, which would say that I'm giving this a PSA 8 for the grade. As I said, the print lines are basically should knock it down 2 grades. Other than that, the card's pretty darn good looking. So, moving on, we do have a Hitmonchan that definitely looks 8. As you can see, there's some print lines. These are some scratches and like, I don't really know. What the heck a lot of this stuff is. It's like smudges on the hollow. So, definitely warranting an 8 for that one. Giving an 8 to the Machamp as well. You can't really see it, I don't think, but there is some scratching along in the hollow near the actual Machamp. Unfortunately, Mr. Magneton, as fresh looking as this card is, if I recall, this one was pretty dang good looking. There's quite a few of these that are like 8s that should be 9s, but not just because of the centering. But yeah, pretty darn minty cards though, for sure. But yeah, the centering is just really heavy from the left, as you can see there. It's even kind of chunky on the bottom as well, but it's not nearly as bad. The top bottom would get a 9, but that left and right is just going to bump that down to an 8, unfortunately. And this is going to be the same thing with that Poliwrath. I mean, maybe they might, excuse me, maybe they might deem one of these as a 9.0C grade. I doubt it. Really hard to get 9.0C grades. But this Poliwrath is going to be the same thing. It could potentially come back a 9. I have seen some cards with pretty bad centering still get 9s on occasion. Sometimes they get deemed as 9s. Because look at that card. It's nearly flawless. All it's got is that one little speck down there. And just because of the stupid centering of the card, it's going to get slapped down to a possible 8. So that's really poopy, you guys. Anyways, moving on. We got this beautiful, beautiful Alakazam here. It's also got centering issues as well. As you can see here, the card is pretty dang fresh on the back of it, and I saw a couple really minuscule scratches on the front. Otherwise, it would get a 10 if the centering was just a little better. Same thing with the Blastoise as well as the centering issues, but it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous card. It has like 2 or 3 really light scratches on it, print line, a couple print lines, and like a baby scratch you could see there. One here, one up here as well, going through it. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this thing is just beautiful. I cannot believe I found this set. And I'm surprised no one else bought it before me. It was probably only up for less than 12 hours, so I jumped right on it and bought it immediately the second I seen it. It was just amazing. We got a gorgeous Chansey. I know a lot of people are after this one in a mint 9, and they're paying quite hefty for it. So this card is definitely going to end up being for sale when it comes back. This one's tagged with the 9 grade by me, of course. Card's pretty darn good looking. It's just got a couple really light scratches in the hollow. Clefairy. This thing would come back a 10 if not for like a couple really small scratches in the hollow as well. Sucks. I would love to grade some 10s on some Shadowless cards because I don't think I ever have. Still have not. Haven't ever actually really graded too many Shadowless cards at all. So the hollow's just got a couple little scratches in it. And most of these have just basically all like the same thing. Don't worry, that's not scratches on the card. That's on the physical case itself. But this beautiful, beautiful Mewtwo. Man, I can't believe I found this set. Look how crisp this card is. It's insane. And I'm giving this card a 9. Because I think this is the one that had like a small print line, or maybe because of the centering being a little off. Got the Raichu. Would be insane to get this one in a 10, but unfortunately it's got a print line coming through the center of it. I think that might be the case. I don't know. There you go. It's a little bit. But other than that, like, these cards are so good looking. This Venusaur has the freshest hollow I have seen in a while. But yeah, there's no scratches in the hollow on this Venusaur. It's just amazing looking. But unfortunately, the back has something to say. There's a couple little spots up there on the corners. Down here on the sides. I'm very, very nitpicky with my cards. And, I mean, this card still could potentially come back as a 10. Sometimes when the card is just so crisp and clean on the front with a nick, they're still going to give it a 10 just because some graders are a little harsher on the fronts as on the backs just because they know about the print lines and all that bad stuff that happens on cards. That beautiful, beautiful Zapdos. So it's got a couple little print lines on it as well. So there is 3 cards here, and I feel like at least one of them should get a 10. I'm really, really hoping that this Ninetales does. all three of these cards, I couldn't find anything really truly wrong with them. Just like a small speck on the back. Not really anything too harsh. So, I mean, as you could see here, if I could zoom in a little bit, this Ninetales, that's all that's wrong with it down here on the bottom side of the card there. Just gorgeous. And it's got great centering on the front of it. Much better centering than the last one that I graded. And just like a tiny scratch on the hollow. I mean, it's really even hard for me to even notice. So I'm really hoping for that to come back as a 10. We got Nidoking here as well. This one looks amazing. As all of them do. Just a little tiny spot down here on this bottom left corner. But just like such a fresh card though. The only thing I could see this card getting knocked back for, I believe, is the possible top to bottom centering. But in my opinion, that is still 10 worthy. Looks like it's still within that 60-40 ratio. Last but most certainly not least, we got this Gyarados here. This thing is just immaculate. If any of the three of these cards is getting a 10, it's Gyarados. As you can see here, nothing wrong on the top or the sides at all. The bottom is perfect as well. Literally nothing. Like I couldn't even find a scratch in this thing. The centering is slightly off, but it's definitely within 10 parameters. So I am extremely excited. I think I'm gonna get these things sent off this weekend because I just kind of can't wait. I don't want to wait. It's just too amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed this long video. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for you listening to me ramble. But anyways, guys, have a good one. Peace.